Hey, what's up? It's Tyler. I am here with Susan in her 991.1 Porsche. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I was specifically looking for a naturally aspirated manual, one owner, low miles, 911, and it took me about 6 months. I found this car locally and was really surprised to find it. It needed a little bit of care, but managed to get it and then get it cleaned up, and I'm super stoked.
Yeah. So you're telling me before, biggest thing for you was the naturally aspirated, hence the reason you went with the 991.1.
Yeah.
Was it pretty difficult to find something that kind of checked all the boxes?
It was really hard. We were looking nationwide.
Okay.
And within my budget too. But these cars are the last naturally aspirated 911s. And so I was really wanting that specifically for a multitude of reasons. One thing is the sound of the car is amazing. The other thing is just the repair of the turbos when they fail is epically expensive.
Exactly.
And I didn't want to have to deal with that. Same with the manual on my previous Porsche. The PDK was failing.
Okay.
And my understanding is that the PDK can fail randomly, and they don't really know why. And that's about a $25,000 repair. And so I was, and not only that, but a manual is super fun to drive.
I know. I mean, that's what you get it for. At the end of the day, it's about the experience of the car going out. And
Yeah.
I was surprised to hop in and see that you had the manual. I love it. So we had talked a little bit about it before. You're pretty involved within the car community. What initially got you into the car community and into liking cars?
So I have been into cars since I was little. And at that point in time, in the 70s, I was car spotting.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah. I was a big Corvette Camaro fan, and so I would point them out to my dad on the streets. Not because, I don't know how come, I just was.
Yep.
And I used to change the oil with him.
Oh, that's super cool.
Under the Chrysler.
Yep. So was your dad into cars as well then?
I wouldn't say that he was really into cars. Like, he did stuff on our family cars, but I mean, we didn't have any cool cars. I mean, he was a big Dodge Chrysler person.
Yep.
So I mean, they were more family cars at the time. So yeah, I'm not really sure where it came from. But then that moved in. I grew up in Kansas City, and it's a huge muscle car epicenter.
Yeah.
And so in high school, I'm not embarrassed to say this, but I laugh every time. I dated guys for their cars.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And
so you're going for the more muscle cars, Camaros, Corvettes?
For sure.
Yeah.
And there were some friends that I had in high school. That was the first time that I got introduced to Europeans.
Okay.
I had a friend who had a Lotus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and his daily was a Carmen Ghia.
Yep.
Which was really cool. We used to ditch lunch and go sit in the Carmen Ghia and do things that teenagers do.
Exactly.
And then I went to a private school, and the director of that school had a 911 shipped from California.
Oh, no way.
And that was my first introduction really to Porsche, and I mean, I've been a fan ever since.
Exactly, and that's the thing. I mean, when the muscle cars are cool, but in my opinion, they're great for a straight line, the flashiness, or maybe not exactly the flashiness, but the sound, the road presence. But when you get into something like a Porsche, the German engineering, where it's all very much a driver-focused car, there's nothing that really beats it.
It's just a different experience. I love all cars, and being in a Porsche and doing a lot of rallies, it's just so much fun to take the corners.
I could imagine.
Especially with the engine in the rear, it just adds a different complexity to driving. Yeah, I just love it.
And then, so initially you're interested in just cars in general, then the Porsche came along. Mm-hmm. Did that transfer into you slowly getting cars over the years, or were you always just interested in the idea of the cars?
So no, I got my first Camaro when I was 17. Okay. That's when I learned to drive stick.
Very nice.
My neighbor's friend had one that was for sale, and it was parked in the front yard.
Okay.
And I was like, I want that car.
Yeah.
And I was 17. I didn't have any money.
What year was the Camaro?
That was an 81. It was a Berlinetta, and it was a stick. And I got this idea. I went to my grandfather and I said, listen, I really want this car.
Yeah.
Will you loan me the money? I'll write up a contract.
Yep.
And I'll pay you back.
That's so cool.
And so he said, yeah, if you write up a contract, then, for sure. So I got out my typewriter, wrote up a contract. There wasn't an internet then, so I didn't have capability to look up how to do that. I don't know how I knew how to write a contract, but
you made it work.
I figured it out, and he loaned me the money, and I bought the car.
Yeah, that's such a cool story. Is there a rally going on? I'm seeing a ton of cars.
No, it's just Sunday in Scottsdale.
Sunday cruiser. There's an SF90, F8, GT3. Right? Everything's just cruising around right now. And that's the cool thing, I guess. That's a cool note to touch on. I mean, Scottsdale, the car scene, it's crazy, and you're pretty involved with it.
Yeah, I'm really involved in the car scene here. So what happened with that? How I got involved here was wanted to get back into something that wasn't related to my family or my business, and so I just started showing up at Cars and Coffee.
Oh, very cool.
By myself.
Yep.
Didn't know anybody, and just took big breaths and pulled up in the middle in my Macan, and got out of the car like I belonged there, and just owned it, and started talking to people, and so that's how I got to meet people. The first people that I met, one of the first people that I met was Alpio.
Okay.
And we became really good friends, and he was super encouraging for me to be a part of the car community. And then eventually I met my friend Tiffany, and she was starting a chapter of Women in Porsche in Arizona. And so we together started Women in Porsche, the Arizona chapter.
Very cool.
And really, we just hit Cars and Coffee every single week, and I networked like crazy, and she was doing a lot of the web design, and so yeah, we formed an all-female Porsche club.
When was that?
That was 2021.
Okay, so it's fairly recently that you started getting out and getting active within the community.
Yeah, it was late 2020.
Okay.
And so so we did that, and we gained about 30-40 members pretty quickly.
Oh, wow.
It was like over the course of maybe 3 months, and it was great, and it was super fun. And then she wanted to expand the club to include other models and take it to a platform that was more based in bringing awareness to women in motorsports.
Yeah.
And so Leadfoot Ladies was born that November.
Okay, so is Leadfoot Ladies, is that a transition from...
Yeah. Oh, and I am brand specific.
Exactly.
And so, and I really like to drive and do a lot of rallies. And that club really does a lot more appearances.
Social events, things of that nature.
And so I ended up meeting this group of ladies that were all Porsche drivers in LA.
Okay.
And they invited me to go snowmobiling with them.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
So I didn't know any of them. I show up in Montana, and there's 9 of us.
Yep.
And we're like snowmobiling on our own, up on the top of the mountain in whiteout conditions. It was totally crazy. But it was the best time because all these chicks were like driven the same way that I was. All entrepreneurs, and they all just like adrenaline, and they love the brand, and so we all became best friends.
Very cool.
And so I started going to LA a lot and doing a lot of rallies with them and meeting their people.
So at the time, that's when you had the Macan?
Yes.
And were you driving the Macan out there to go on these rallies, or were you doing ride-alongs?
Yeah, so I would drive out and I would do ride-alongs, but then I met a friend through this group named Mark he had 2 911s, so he'd give me a car.
Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah, like first time he let me drive, he gave me a car to drive. He didn't even know me. He's like such a good guy. And so yeah, we ripped it through up to Ojai from Santa Monica.
Yep.
It's like, I don't know if you've done that drive, it's amazing.
I haven't, but that's like on the bucket list.
Oh, it's a pitch and drive.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I started going out like once a month and hanging out with them and doing a lot of rallies, and it was super fun, and they, we became like this very tight group.
Yep.
And meanwhile, back here, I was still doing a lot of cars and coffees, and,
Okay.
and that's when I started hanging out with Phoenix Driven.
Yep.
And doing rallies with them as ride along, specifically with a couple different people in that group, but I became really good friends with Alan, who owns an F12.
Yeah, Alan is amazing.
He's amazing. He's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
He's just such a good guy, and he's been such a great friend to me and huge supporter. I can't say enough good things. So started doing a lot of rallies with them, and now they say that I'm an honorary member.
Oh, that's so cool.
It is. It's really amazing how nice everybody's been to me. That's about the time that I met the Scarlett and Andy, who run the Lamborghini Club.
Okay.
And they became friends with them. They invited me to become a member of Lamborghini Club. And then I met Fresh, who was helping to run Fastlane. Last fall, we did a fundraiser with Make-A-Wish.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Was that with the Lamborghini Club, or was that with Fastlane at the time?
It was with Lamborghini Club and Fastlane.
Okay.
And we went to Podium.
Oh, very nice.
It was a great day. I got to drive with Dan Erickson, who designed the track, in his GT3.
that is
He's
so
a professional
cool.
race car driver.
There's nothing like it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You just can't. And then in October I got invited to go drive the R8 Performance Spider.
Oh, very cool.
Across the Alps from Munich to Lake Garda.
That was probably such an amazing experience.
It was amazing, and then I wrote an article about it, and it's in here.
Oh, very cool. No way.
Yeah.
So you're in the Audi Club book.
Yeah.
That
So
is so
that's
cool.
the Audi magazine that's quarterly published, and now I'm a contributing writer.
Oh, that is super cool.
So yeah, one thing, things just lead to another, so I just keep saying yes to things that, that I love with people who I love, and opportunities keep arising.
Yeah. That's super cool how, like, over the time, and we find this commonality as we talk to more and more people, where the car community, not only is it an enjoyable social experience, but you can actually build something really amazing off of it, whether it be writing articles and becoming a writer now for the Audi Club.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah, there's actually a really cool story about me getting pulled over in Germany and losing my my right to drive in Germany for 30 days.
Really? So the
Because
question is, did you continue on, or were you done after that?
No, it was great because we were headed to Italy. So I got pulled over about 30 minutes from the border to Italy. So yeah, it didn't really matter.
Exactly.
It was just a great story, and over here it would have been criminal speeding.
Yeah, but were you on the Autobahn?
No, I wasn't on the Autobahn. We did go on the Autobahn, but
very cool.
but we were on a country road.
Yeah.
And there was a tractor, and then there was a van, and then there was another Audi R8 in front of us. And my friend was like, "Are you going to overtake them or what?"
Yeah, you
And I was
have
like,
to. Might as well do it.
"Of course I am."
Yeah. That's awesome.
And so yeah, I ended up in the police station.
Oh, they
Hefty
like put you in the station too,
Oh well.
or brought you to the station.
So they asked me for 60 euros on the spot, and I didn't have 60 euros, and
my
so they
gosh.
said, okay, we have to go to the station. So 60 euros turned into 180 euros.
Oh my gosh. I mean, all things considered, if you get an amazing story out of it, that's not too bad.
It's literally the best story ever. It's just led to other opportunities. So
Yeah. And talk a little bit about what you do for work, because we had talked about it before. It sounds like you're starting a new business, because obviously to get cars like this, it takes a level of work and entrepreneurship, whatever that may be. So what is it that you do?
So yeah, I'm a spiritual entrepreneur. I do transformational coaching and sound healing. I'm part of a global sound healing community. I do training.
Okay.
And I actually have a training coming up next weekend. And then I work with clients to help them work through issues that they have in their life. And I generally point out to them that they have pattern belief systems, the core beliefs that are creating the problems that they're having, the blockages that they're having, and we figure out what those are, and then I help them work through them so that they can live their best lives ever.
Amazing. And what got you into that originally?
basically just doing my own work on myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's just been a lifetime of studying philosophy and religion and spirituality and understanding the human condition. I've been doing it for 30 years plus.
That's amazing.
And so it's just something that comes really naturally, and you know, I guess I'm a great space holder.
Exactly.
And have a lot of compassion because I've been through some things myself, and so yeah, I've been able to go from helping people in 6 months to helping people in one session.
That's so amazing, and that's something that, I mean, it's a testament to who you are. If you can turn a passion like that, a passion for yourself, into a business, and it's not a business just strictly off financial. You're truly helping people for the long run.
Yeah. I mean, it's very, very rewarding, and it's great every time that somebody gets a really amazing result. You know, I'm just as stoked and ecstatic as they are.
Exactly.
I can't tell you how great it is. And people, you know, I had a session with a guy last week, and, you know, literally in, I think, 20-30 minutes, he got him there, and he was just like blown away.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, gosh, I can't believe I couldn't see it that way. And it's just, you know, it's amazing. It's really awesome.
And it's cool how, especially nowadays, I think we went through a time when the spiritual kind of mental healing wasn't as popular, but nowadays a lot of people are realizing the mind-body connection and how much you can really do, whether it be through sound. We had talked about, you did yoga for a while there, and how you can transition that into a better overall life.
Exactly. Everything is stored within our bodies energetically, and so when we have moods that come up out of nowhere, it's really not, it's just the energy that's trying to process itself. And you know, you need somebody to work with for accountability and just support to be able to get through it. It's not therapy. It's different than therapy. I don't do therapy. Our goal is to get there as quickly as possible.
Yeah. And
not to ruminate about issues in the past. I've been working as a transformational coach for about 10 years.
Okay. And then you're talking a little bit about a new company you're starting up here. Can you tell me about that?
I'm super stoked about what is happening now. So I am starting a carbon fiber manufacturing company. Well, I'm partnering with a carbon fiber manufacturing company, and I'm going to be the brand ambassador for the Porsche division of the parts.
That is so cool. So what exactly is it? Are they going to be doing aftermarket parts, replacement parts? What's the company do?
So we're going to be doing aftermarket parts. Specifically, we're going to be doing a lot of different makes and models. We're starting with some classic models as well. We're branching off an existing company called ExoMod, which I'll talk about in just a minute. But the OG Carbon is the name of the company, and we are not doing cap pieces at this point. I think on the mirrors we're going to do cap pieces.
Oh, very nice.
We haven't fully launched yet.
Yep. But
it's coming, and I'm really excited. We did a lot of work last week, and I'm super stoked about it.
So for a company like that, how was it just being in the car space that then transitioned you into having that opportunity?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, it's just living my life.
Yeah.
Living my best life, driving around, doing rallies, you know, being Susan. And one thing led to another, and I met the owner of ExoMod.
Okay.
And that company buys new chargers, takes the body off, and then builds a carbon fiber replica of an older model, like a 69 Charger. ExoMod owns their own carbon fiber manufacturing, and so they manufacture the shells for the cars. They're super rad.
Yeah.
You got to go check them out. It's super excited to partner because it's so funny how it works out, because it ties in with my muscle roots.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like this couldn't be a
Everything
more
goes full circle.
Story, you know? I'm like, and I don't know. I'm so stoked about the whole thing.
So I guess that'll lead us to the last question, which we've kind of gone over. But what's one piece of advice that you would give somebody? I mean, it sounds like you've just lived your life, and things have have set themselves up just the way you want it. So what would that piece of advice be for somebody looking to get similar to that?
I would say just live your passion.
Amazing.
And, figure out what you're passionate about and then follow that and hang out with people, go to places that resonate with that or support that, and everything will just fall into place and gel for you, I mean, at least that's how it's worked for me.
Exactly.
The time of my life when I was raising my kids and I wasn't paying attention to what my passion was and I was feeding into everybody else, that was a struggle.
Yeah.
And, my kids are now older and I got back into the car community and it's like
everything's gone full circle.
I mean, it's really like dreams come true.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Susan.
Yeah.
We'll get some clips of the car, but I really appreciate it. And it was an awesome interview.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.